Hello, this is Anthony. Let's walk and talk. So, today we're at another park, and I think as we've done some of these videos, and as I've kind of gone through and experienced life, and just interacted with others on my journey, I've noticed something that's really interesting to me. And what's interesting to me is, as humans, we all crave consistency. We all crave stability. And to be honest with you, this differs nowhere in the world. Every human craves the same things. We want stability, we want consistency. However, what I have noticed on this journey is that people view those two things completely different. Here's what I mean by that. You see, I've talked about this in the past, and I'm going to bring it up again now because I think it's important. It's incumbent on me to send the message out, and it's incumbent on you to consider its validity in your life if it doesn't already have complete validity in your life. And that is that you are capable of being a very powerful being. But with great power also comes great responsibility. Now, what's important to understand about that is that having great power isn't what people think it is. It isn't what people think it means. It's not about wielding some force over others. It's about having the ability and the power to control self and to, for lack of a better word, give yourself the best experience on this plane in life. What do I mean by that? Well, understanding that everything that you put into your body nourishes your body. Some people are going to go, oh, he's talking about food and eating cleaner. Well, no, that's a part of it. But I'm also talking about what you consume in your mind, what you choose to view, what you choose to listen to. There's a reason why a lot of times music, especially music with words, can draw us in, because a lot of times it's not even so much about the hook, it's about the words in the song. We connect to them in some way. That's why sometimes cheesy love songs or songs that have heartbreak or anger connect with us so deeply, because that instinctive thing that is in us that is calling for our attention, that thing that's in us that's calling for our focus, connects with that song. And so we listen to that song over and over and over again, because it connects with that emotion inside. It connects with that inner peace, beyond that inner peace that desires attention. Same with movies and videos. We watch things all the time. Movies, some people watch action movies. They watch movies with a lot of violence in them. It's because there's something inside of you that is calling for your attention. Whether it's calling to be healed or noticed or accepted or loved or whatever. There's something inside of you that's looking for that connection or that attention. So understanding that, you also understand that what you consume in your mind is vital as what you consume in your body. The problem is that many people have convinced themselves and become lazy in their ability to control their environment and their ability to control and set the narrative for their day. And so what they do is they do what the normal is. Now, we've talked about this a little in the past as well, where there's a lot of people who they like their consistency in the morning, and they like to set their day up the same way. So what do? They wake up, maybe they have a shower, have some coffee, get some breakfast, turn on the news, watch the news, and go into your day. But we've also talked about why some of those programs, they're telling you a vision, and they're programming you to that vision, why those are on in the morning and in the evenings. Because that is the time when your subconscious mind is most programmable. And so when you understand this concept and this information, and then you choose to willfully continue that as a way to start your day, you are essentially willfully saying, I am going to allow someone else to set the tone of my day based on the message that I see on the television in the morning and what they program into me. Now, the problem with that is not a very empowered way to approach life. Why is it not an empowered way to approach life? Well, because you're taking your power and you're essentially giving it, you're offering it to someone else. You're offering it to the people who set the programming on your television. You're offering it to the people who feed you the news. Well, the ego likes negative. Why does the ego like negative? Because the ego feels like, part of its job is to protect you on this plane. We've talked about this many times. Part of its job is so when you're out in the woods at night and you hear a noise, you can figure out what that is and get yourself to safety. So it likes to see the negative around us because it feels like it has purpose then in being able to try to protect us from how we approach things going forward. Well, that's no different than your day. You see, what happens is you begin your day in ego, and the way you begin your day in ego is you begin your day watching the news and being alerted of all the negative things going on in the world. And then you start to consider all the things that you need to do in your day to protect yourself from all of the things going on in the world, not recognizing and realizing that that is something that's being projected to you from someone else. You see, ask yourself this question: why would you want to allow someone to have that kind of power over you? Why would you allow someone to have that sort of control over you? That is what creates victims. It doesn't create masters of your universe. That makes you a victim of life. Why do I even bring this up and discuss it again? Well, for this reason. I've noticed on this journey for me, ways that I am able to allow myself that same stability and that same consistency is how I choose to move forward in my day. You see, I've, let's say, curated a morning for me that allows me to set the tone of my day every day in the appropriate manner in which I wish to experience that day. I'm going to spin around and do this in front of this little monument here from 1912. So you can see that while I'm talking. So I take this same approach every day. What's my approach? My approach is not necessarily going to be your approach. My approach may differ from your approach. What's important is for you to figure out what approach that you need to take in order for you to have the best experience for your day, okay? My approach is I like to wake up. I do my normal morning routine of journaling, and I have coffee, and I relax into my morning, and get myself prepared for the day. I don't rush. I think of all the amazing and beautiful things I'm going to experience through the day. And I look at my day with gratitude, and I look at my day feeling blessed that I have an amazing life, and I am living my best life, and I'm here to experience that. And so I'll go through my day, and I start my day with that. Well, what that does is that creates an environment now for me to be open to all the magic and miracles that happen all around me every day, because they're there. And I know they're there because I see them, because I am open to them, and I'm open to receiving them. And I set my morning up to be able to notice them, to stay in the moment, to not think about what am I going to do in 3 hours? Where am I going to go for lunch? What am I going to experience today? No, on the contrary, I set it up more to say, hey, you know what? Today I'm going to go, as I'm doing today, I'm going to walk down to the historic center of Quito, and I'm going to just enjoy the walk and enjoy the experiences I have between here and there. I'm not going to think about later. When I feel hungry, if I see something that looks interesting, I'll stop and have a bite. When I feel thirsty, the same. When I feel, there's something I'd like to have a photo of, or I feel called to do a video, I allow myself to be open to those experiences. And that's how my day goes. That's how today's going to go. Obviously, that's not every day. I also, in the morning, if I know that it's a day where I have to put my attention on a lot of things, I make a list. Why do I make a list? Because making a list allows me to keep myself focused, keep my attention focused on what I'm trying to accomplish. So by the end of the day, when I can look at the list and I can see that either I've accomplished everything on the list or I've accomplished most of it, I feel good. I feel like I've done what I set out to do. I feel accomplished. So, what say you? How do you feel about that? Do you feel like having a morning routine that sets you up for success for the entire day? Or do you feel like that's just folly? As always, if you enjoy this content, please like, share, and subscribe. I am truly grateful. And until I talk to you again, peace, love, light. Hope you have the most amazing day.